My name's Cameron, and you're listening to a brand new episode. Wow, it's so loud. Of Last Man In podcast. My name's Cameron Home. This here to my right / he's going to probably sit opposite of me anyways, is...
Greg.
And directly across from Greg is...
Your worst nightmare.
Dan. And we are the gentlemen of Last Man In podcast. Now, doesn't this sound like super rookie stuff? It does. We're recording off my phone right now. We're sitting in Dan's office. And I know, Dan's mad that I Shanna banned him from eating Skittles, so that's like chewing. If you hear annoying chewing, it's Dan.
I'm done. Just.
All right, so you already know the voices of who we are. How did we meet, gentlemen? I met Dan personally from working at Sobeys. I heard this one guy's like, yeah, he listens to music and stuff. And I'm like, I listen to music and stuff. Maybe we'll get along. And then
We don't get along.
We don't, and I lost a bet. So I went to a movie with him once. It was really weird. He tried to.
Do you guys like hold hands and cuddle a little?
Greg's jealous of what Dan and I have.
Did you lift the center armbar?
I did lift the center armbar.
Did you like lean in?
Just in case the
This
movie
was before the
south.
armbar days in the theater. This was...
Yeah, I was just sitting on the armbar
This was
physically.
back in the day.
Back in the day. All right. And Greg, how did you and Dan meet?
Went to high school with him. We got kicked out of a university class together. That is our claim to fame.
True fact. And subsequently won on Roll Up the Rim.
Oh,
True story.
I forgot about that.
Within about 10 minutes.
I guess we should say we're based out of Winnipeg. Winnipeg, it's basically we're solely going to be talking about the Winnipeg Jets.
And a little bit about other teams
And who are
and the other... just NHL in general, but we will focus on other teams, which are our secondary teams. Unfortunately, I've been blessed with the curse of being a Leaf fan, so that's a thing. And...
Yeah. Who is that? Or should we leave Dan till last? I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This could take a while.
Yeah. Oh, it begins. Okay. Well, let me take you on this long journey. When I was a young child.
Oh my God, no. Okay, he was a Flames fan, then he was a Hawks fan, then he was a Flyers fan, then he was a Hawks fan, then he was a Flames fan.
No.
Now he's a Flyers fan again. That is exactly how it works. There's no difference about that. He has two man
Greg
crushes.
hasn't even known me that long, so he's lying.
Actually,
wait.
That's pretty accurate.
Sorry, he wanted Tampa Bay to win when they were playing Calgary, and then decided to cheer for Calgary.
Because my best
series.
friend, Carrie J. Butts, which he might be on here eventually, is a Flames fan. Or, well, Jets, but Flames, secondary. My secondary has never changed. It's always been the Flyers. And Team 1's changed a few times, I'll admit. It was the Flames.
A few times this year.
It was the Flames, and then it was the Jets.
The Hawks.
No, the Hawks, I only cheered for the Hawks, because who are they playing in that cup? Who
Hawks
they beat?
were on Cam's, I can't say the word,
No,
list.
No, the Hawks were playing against the Flyers in the Stanley Cup
And I
Final.
was cheering for the Flyers against the... I was cheering the Flyers the whole time. I hated Jonathan Taves. I hated Jonathan Taves.
Oh, that's right.
I
And then
was.
after
Yep.
Jonathan Taves lifted the cup, he's like, oh, golden boy. Best player ever.
Yeah.
He's still pretty good. You're telling me you wouldn't build... If you had first pick, you wouldn't take Jonathan Taves to build your team around.
No.
Who would your team be? Who would your guy be? Number one pick.
Ever?
Number one. In current NHL, who would your team be if you're building a team?
If I'm building a team, well, if I was taking the Brian Burke route, I'd take Morgan Riley because, he's first pick in that draft.
Okay, the sensible person.
Yeah, jeez Louise.
Sensible person. Okay, well, Taves is pretty good. But I would take Andre Kopitar.
Converted.
He would take Andre Kopitar. Either way,
that's not
okay, fine. No, they play the same style of play.
That's
Like,
not
they're
bad.
both two
I
forwards.
But one of the great things about Taves in that Olympic run in 2010 was Babcock was asked, I believe it was Babcock, could have been the assistant coach. Mark Crawford, I believe, was the assistant coach of that team, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But he was asked, who's the best player on the team? And would you consider Jonathan Taves to be that best player? And he said no. Best player is whoever plays with Jonathan Taves. As in saying that he just makes them that much better.
Oh, yes. Okay, I was lost as to where you're going with that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, but to wrap up my summary, while we're talking on this podcast, you might hear me refer to teams as we. Now, there are 3 teams involved. When Greg and Dan and I are all talking, we are the Jets, when I'm in that. But we could also be the Flyers, because Flyers, ruthless and toothless, baby. Ruthless and toothless. But third, The Flames were my first love, and I watch from afar, like, you know, creepy ex-girlfriend, you watch them from afar. I don't have ex-girlfriends, but I heard this is the example you use. You watch from afar. And now, let's wrap it up. So the Flames would be...
before you wrap it
Dan's
up...
giving him like the one minute finger, like...
Hold on, I got something to say.
Before you wrap it up, you should tell everyone what happened when the Jets came back to the Flames.
Okay, I just want to say, my father lives up north in Repulse Bay, okay? It's called Repulse Bay, literally Repulse, because
it's
when
repulsive.
settlers went there and they're like, oh, this is ugly. Apparently. I don't know if that's true or not. Repulse Bay. Well, it's a small Inuit town, and I took literally everything I had for Flames, put it in a box, gave it to my dad and said, give it away. I don't want it.
And
I kept one item.
What happened 12 months ago?
My home 22 Calgary Flames home jersey. It's beautiful.
Now, what
my
happened
last
12
name's
months ago?
20. Now, what happened 12 months ago? They drafted. I am a sucker for teams. I secretly I think I'm a Flyers fan deep down because I just love the drafting, the prospect. Watch a guy grow. Mike Richards, Jeff Carter. I remember that.
Yeah, well, where are they now? Oh, that's right. Oh, they're two-time winning Stanley Cup team.
They're winning
Ginger
Stanley
Jesus. Enough.
No one cares about
Ginger Jesus is unreal and he reigns supreme. I continue.
How many games did he go without a goal this year?
15 to begin with.
Yeah,
hey, you know
exactly.
what? Hey, guess what? Guess what?
What?
He got nominated for a Hart.
He got nominated. Who won? Oh, that's right, Crosby.
Crosby, because it's Crosby.
Yeah.
He had 104 points.
I don't care.
Plays it Malkin. What does Giroux get? Voracek and Hartnell? Who is no more? We'll get to that.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that.
Anyways, I sent my stuff. Wait, where am I? Sent my stuff up north.
No, you said 12 months ago.
Oh, 12 months ago, the
draft
Flames.
Sean Monahan.
I love beautiful prospects.
Now he's a fan again.
And Sean Monahan, I'm just saying, he's a good-looking dude. He's got that glimmer in his eye.
We're still not sure if Cam is.
He's
I have
a
to
special
say your
player.
logic doesn't make much sense because you went back to them when they were the worst team in the league.
Yeah. Just say.
I went back to them so that when they're good again, I'll be like, I was there through the dark days. The golden dark days.
Yeah, well,
all right.
If that story ever gets told, I'll be surprised.
No.
All right. Well, yeah, you go.
Actually, leading from what happened when the Jets came back, do you all remember what you were doing?
We never got to say, Dan, who's your team growing up? Very lucky. Go ahead.
Very lucky? I guess you can call that.
Who was it?
I don't think they're ready for it.
I think you're right.
No.
Do we need a drum roll?
No.
Terrible drum roll.
Atlanta Thrashers.
Oh,
Not
Mamma Mia.
lying. Not lying.
And there's a frenzy going on, like, Dan...
There's two Ilya Kovalchuk and a Danny Heatley autographed jersey in my room. They were sent to Atlanta and signed personally by them and sent back to me.
Because Atlanta, they don't receive very many things in the mail, so they could complete anything you ask for.
Like, these things
Long story short,
only things sent to them.
Long story short, a guy that I played hockey with, his dad is Danny Heatley's godfather. That's how it happened.
Bam!
Short story. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. So, anyways, when it got announced, the Jets, I guess we're kicking it way back. And you wanted to say, go ahead.
Well, just, do you guys all remember where you are? Because I think that's one of the great moments of May 31st, 2011.
I remember the false announcement like 10 days before it actually
Well,
happened.
this guy,
you guys came
me.
into work while I was working and told me that they were sold, and there was a premature party downtown, and we were fucking went to I'm sorry, I can't say that.
That's fine.
Oh, pardon me. Didn't
Sorry,
mean to swear.
everybody. We'll try not to swear.
We went to McDonald's and ate cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Wasn't that the day where I had that...
The Super McGangbang.
Yeah, where it took two cheeseburgers.
I'm sorry for the language, but a McGangbang is the most delicious thing you can eat. It is off the $1.39 menu.
Dude, in Vegas you can actually purchase a McGangbang. It says like... I think
we didn't say what it is. It's a junior chicken inside a McDouble.
Yeah. If someone doesn't know that, they shouldn't have an iPhone. Or technology to listen to a podcast.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
That was the day where I got a Angus third pounder and put 2 cheeseburgers inside of it and ate it. And somehow...
I remember that because I remember...
No, but you phoned me.
Somehow, it was like
I did because we played street hockey that night.
Yeah, we played street hockey. Cam phones me. He's like, Greg, downtown, now. Considering that I have a car and Cam doesn't drive.
I don't have my license, okay? It's a work in progress.
He just walks everywhere.
I've heard
we started driving as Cam's reading this, what was it, Globe and Mail?
Stephen Brunt.
Yes.
But see, the reason we thought it was legit was because Stephen Brunt works for the Globe and Mail. Globe and Mail is owned by Dave Thompson, who owns the Winnipeg Jets now.
Yeah.
However, I called Greg and I was like, we're getting Ovi! I get to see Ovi! It's real! The dream is real!
It was quite surreal, but I remember working at a hospital at the time. I was painting it, and we were all huddled around in a break room watching the official announcement, and that was pretty cool.
I remember I woke up. I remember there was a rumor that it was going to happen the next day, and I woke up the next morning, and I had an email from Power 97 saying that True North had bought the Thrashers.
Which, yeah, that's pretty cool. What were you doing?
What was I doing?
Yeah.
Well, I called you.
No, like the actual day. Like,
I was sitting in my room and I was
went
on
to
the
the
phone with a friend of ours who will probably be a Saskatchewan correspondent.
Oh, Tyler.
Yeah, he was on the golf course and I was telling him word by word that we were getting the Jets and I was watching it. I cried that day. It's a very exciting day.
It was a very exciting day. And now we're here, 4 picks into this team. Like,
and
4 first-round picks.
Suck.
Well, they don't suck.
I'm kidding.
Whoa.
They're built.
Okay,
kidding.
well, let's emphasize this. By today is what day? What day is it?
June 27th, 2014.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay.
What's
I had to write that like 5 times on training forms today. So.
Beautiful.
We're good.
Well, so we gathered here. We thought it'd be a good time to start on a draft day.
Yeah.
Start day. Now, let's go back. New beginnings. Now, let's go back and see.
Especially if you're a Canucks.
Yeah, the Jets' the Jets' first pick this year. Who do we take? We, as in the Winnipeg Jets, not the Flyers.
Oh, geez, what's his Nikolai
Ehlers.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, don't worry. We know stats and stuff.
Okay,
he looks like Ole Jokinen's like little brother. I have to say that.
Yeah.
He's from Denmark. He's a Dane.
I don't care. He looks like Ole Jokinen's
If
little brother.
if our podcast had anything besides misdirection, because I'm on it, so I never finish stories properly, would be take everything we say with a grain of salt, and we're very misinformed / uninformed about a lot of stuff.
Hashtag unwashed.
Hashtag we are the unwashed.
Yeah,
we're not worthy, but you know what? Hey, you're listening to us, hopefully, and our opinion's better than yours. Just remember that, okay? Look out for number 1, okay?
Yeah,
we're number 1.
Exactly. So, Nikolai Ehlers, it was taken 9th overall after Michael Nylander was taken by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Michael.
Oh my
He's
God.
making a comeback. Oh, Mamma Mia.
I'm going to say that a lot.
Michael, it's
and
William.
He's on the Leafs, so I'm going to say Michael a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willie Nylander.
I have to throw this in because Greg botched the name. Did you guys hear at the Bomber game?
Oh, Patrick Swayze.
For you guys that don't know, we live in Winnipeg, CFL, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Played Toronto Argonauts last night. Toronto's kicker's name is Swayze Waters. The PA guy literally called him Patrick Swayze, and like 2 seconds after, over the live stadium feed, he's like, "I knew I was gonna do that at least once."
All I heard was Patrick Swayze.
And then Cam's dad and my dad simultaneously turned us and said, "Isn't he dead?"
Yeah. Rest in peace, Patrick.
My dad just started laughing when that happened. He just turned and he was like...
All right, so back to William Nylander. I just want to make a note.
Looks like Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Joffrey looked like Game of Thrones / he's made my man crush list. We all have man crushes.
Jeez.
I just talk about my
We don't. Cam just...
Blonde hair, blue eyes. Carl Hagelin, Mikhail Granlund, William Nylander.
Notice how all these guys are mid-range players. None of them are great.
You can't like superstars. That's what a man crush is. You can't... Greg, I know you have a man crush. Who's your man crush?
No. Tyson Barrie?
Yeah. Joey Hishit.
Oh, Joey Hishit, yeah.
Who?
Joey Hishit.
Exactly. That's what a man crush should be.
Got called up to play for the Colorado Avalanche. He was Owen Sound Attack, and then he went to Lake Erie Monsters.
Yeah.
And got the call up last year with Colorado for a few games, and looked pretty amazing. He played a couple games in the playoffs. Number 36, centerman. Number 36 in your program, number 1 in my heart.
That's how every
Well
man crush should
researched.
be. Just number blank in program, number 1 in heart is how all man crushes should be.
So with Ehlers, did they get the best available guy for what fits their needs and for what was available at the time?
I'd say yeah.
Well, Nikolai Ehlers, he played on the second line in Halifax behind Jonathan Drouin, which is funny because that's who they compare him to.
Yeah.
Jonathan Drouin, not the biggest guy. He's 5'11", 162 according to the Hockey News. However...
latest draft reports have him listed at 6'1".
6-1. This year, his numbers, we're just looking at his numbers. He played 63 games. He had 49 goals, 55 assists for 104 points, and 51 penalty
And
minutes.
That puts him
I
third.
believe 49 goals was the best in the CHL too.
For out of the top prospects.
Out of the top prospects.
Yes.
So,
But we pass up on a guy that I suggested probably 3 months ago that the Jets could draft, which is Brendan Perlini.
yeah, and what's the write-up on him?
Blake Wheeler 2.0.
Blake Wheeler 2.0. Shies away from contact, but can
Big
score.
fast.
Has that ability to score. They also pass up Ritchie. I don't remember his first
Nick
name.
Ritchie.
Nick Ritchie, who was a big power forward and definitely could have done something with the Jets, especially in the West.
But
West
Richie,
Conference.
he has to, apparently something's off. They're waiting for him to click and to be to realize, his potential. And he's not, it's untapped potential. He's good, but
just
until
doesn't
he
know how.
realizes it. And you know what? The Jets, from our previous picks, let's go to our previous picks. Okay, first, year one, who did we pick?
Mark Scheifele,
Now, why did we pick Scheifele?
Dale Hawerchuk.
Dale Hawerchuk connection. Have you heard that weird conspiracy? You're going to hear a lot of weird stuff on this podcast. Conspiracy.
Okay.
I love
What
you,
was the
Spencer.
what was the conspiracy?
Well, he's a little Ducky, right? Because Ducky was Dale Hawerchuk's nickname in Winnipeg here. He couldn't wear 10, so what number do you wear?
45.
No, Scheifele wears currently. He wears
55.
What's 5
That's
plus
his
5?
brother.
10.
Did you just make that up?
No, yeah, I've heard
No.
this multiple times.
But his brother wore 55. That's why he wore 55.
and, and he wore 55 in June. But hey, that's cool. Anyways,
He also wore 19 inch.
so why did we picked
Yeah,
Scheifele
no.
because of Hawerchuk, but Sean Couturier was on the board. Why pass up a talent like that for that? I think
In
the
the
Jets,
long run, Scheifele will score you more goals and get you more points.
and he's someone to build around. Not that Sean Couturier isn't, but he has a higher
Couturier
ceiling.
is a second line defensive forward at best.
So two-way forward.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
two-way forward. But
So-
what is exactly a two-way forward?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Like, it's
Jonathan
tough to-
Taves is a two-way forward.
Exactly. Same with Anze Kopitar.
Yeah, Anjay. There's a J.
Uh,
You pronounce the Z with a J.
I'm
Sir.
Does he still have the tinted visor?
He does.
gonna keep saying Anze.
That's
because
fine. That's okay.
That's
I'm
how
just
I
saying
pronounce
you're
things.
pronouncing it wrong. But this is Canada or America, whatever you want to say. But with Scheifele,
Just
though,
agree with what we say.
now what I like about the Winnipeg Jets, though, is that they're drafting not what Greg said, or well, maybe what Greg said earlier, best available, but for need. No, not need for need.
No, they need.
Scheifele,
They needed a
they
young
were okay
center
with
to.
taking
A
time.
centerman probably would. Well, that's not true because we have Patan, Lowry.
Yeah,
We have a lot of centers in.
Well, now we do.
In the-
But
in
when
the system.
Scheifele was picked,
Yeah.
we didn't really have any up the middle potential besides Alexander Burmistrov, which
at the
was
time.
at
yeah.
the time exactly.
Who
Burmistrov
are
was our top
centers?
prospect.
Year one, who are centers coming in?
Little
Wasn't
Burmy.
Little was a winger.
No,
well,
coming in, he
I
was-
think they transferred him to. Well, you would
Well,
know.
fine.
You watched
yeah,
all
you
82
would.
games.
So who was a top center? It was either Ladd or Little, wasn't it though?
Top center.
Yeah.
Top center when they came was probably Little, but he was originally a winger.
Okay.
He scored 31 goals one
Okay.
year, but he was a winger.
So I mean, I don't like naming lines, but obviously, I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Who are the top 4 centers in year one coming in before the draft?
Little, Antropov,
Hey.
Oh, I forgot about
Slater.
Slater, Burmy.
Wait, Burmy.
Burmy was fourth line?
Yep.
Okay, and so obviously that's why we took the center. And now, year 2 in the draft, who did we take?
The mother load.
We took Jacob Trouba for size on the defensive end.
To our much. I was trying to sound smart. I was going to say chagrin, but I don't know what that means.
Chagrin.
I can spell it, but I can't. I don't know
Can
what
you
it means.
spell it?
Chagrin. Chagrin.
Okay, thanks.
Anyways,
All right.
you're welcome.
You're too old to participate in spelling bees, just so you know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're not Jason Bateman.
Okay. I don't.
Oh,
Oh,
that was a movie.
The movie
Sponsored.
that I
It
didn't
was
see.
totally sponsored. But
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah.
If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. It might be terrible. I've never seen it. I don't know.
Neither have I.
They keep sending us money in the mail. It's awesome.
I just keep opening envelopes, and it's like
They say lots of-
Yay!
they don't really tell us what it's from. It could be from Coke. We don't
It's-
really know. Or like
No.
heroin.
It's called Bad Words, and they say lots of words that we can't say on this show.
There you go. However, Jacob Trouba turns out to be, as we found out this year,
Maybe Vince D'Angelo would say to a ref.
Potential
Shots fired.
potential Norris Trophy winner if
Well-
his neck isn't screwed up too bad.
for multiple
doesn't try to-
seasons.
if he doesn't
Maybe
try to
not
get
in a row,
points.
but many. I expect him to win the Norris
He will win the Norris.
once
With how-
in his career.
He
Within 5 years,
there are some great defensemen.
You know what? I'm going to say I want to. Because look at Shea Weber. He's never won a Norris. And how old
Exactly.
is he?
And
How old is Shea Weber?
He's been nominated how many
No.
times?
Probably 28.
How many times has he been
28,
nominated?
29.
Like quite a few, right?
Who's that?
He's
been
been
nominated, but
nominated,
he's never won.
But how many times has he been nominated?
He's like
Well,
Leonardo
do you want me to
DiCaprio,
say
just can't
nominated, or
win.
do you want me to say how many times he's going to win in 5 years?
No, how many times has Weber been nominated for the
Probably
Norris?
2, 3.
Well, we can check. We have the internet here.
But that takes time,
Gregory, come on.
effort.
Fine, we'll carry it while
Will
we
he
search.
win one?
In 5.
At least one.
Oh, well, he's 20. No, he's 19 right now. By 24, I'm going to say in 7. By
He'll have one?
by age 25,
Well,
he
you
will.
got-
In
he will
4
win-
years with
Okay,
Paul
in
Maurice, you
7
don't think
years-
he's going to win a...
No,
you
but in
don't
7
think-
years,
No.
you got to think what defensemen are there. Well, Ekblad's going to be in that conversation,
Yep.
obviously. For
Of course.
if
Aaron
if you're
Ekblad
losing-
just went number 1.
We think...
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So Doughty will be probably at his peak at that point. Same with Duncan Keith. He'll
In
be on the
7
decline.
years?
Duncan Keith will
Will
be
be on
Duncan
the
and
decline.
Doughty
Hey,
will be on
But
the down.
Nicholas Lidstrom won Norris's into his 40s.
True, he could reinvent
Why would
himself.
Doughty be... Doughty would be 28. Why would he be on his down?
In 7 years?
Oh, in 7 years.
In 7
In
years.
7 years, Keith will be retired. He's like 32.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but think Lidstrom played until he was into his 40s.
Yeah, this is-
Same with Chris
Keith,
Chelios.
Keith's not quite Lidstrom. I'm sorry if there's any Blackhawk fans out there. He's good, but he's no Lidstrom.
It's true.
This is
He plays too much of an aggressive style, i.e., what year was that where he, like, put his stick in Jeff Carter's mouth from behind?
That was last year.
That was last year?
That was last
Is
year.
that a reference?
That was
for
the
something?
year they
No. Oh,
I've never seen this before.
No,
No,
he,
dude,
like-
remember
he
he
just,
like
like,
sticked him
sticks
from
him in the
behind,
mouth.
right in the mouth.
Didn't he make the somewhat sexist comment about the female news reporter? Is that him?
Yeah. Yeah, where she's like, oh, what'd you think about
But-
the game? And he's like, what did he say?
I didn't know you knew what hockey was. No,
Yeah,
something bad.
I
Something
think
mean
we're s-
towards women. We're straying from the path.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Draft, Trouba.
Jacob Trouba.
Tangent.
How many Norris in 5 years?
In maybe one.
I'm saying
There are
1 in
so
7.
many
7.
good defensemen
Okay.
now.
7 done.
Okay,
1 in 7.
year 3. Who did we take for the first overall pick?
Morrissey.
Why did we take Josh Morrissey? No offense,
Offensive-
Joshua, if you ever
Because
listen
Max
to this.
Domi was snatched.
Was stolen from us from the team who stole us the first time because we couldn't afford them. The dollar was terrible.
Who ironically have changed their name so that a bigger fan base doesn't care about them.
Phoenix Coyotes to Arizona Coyotes. Have fun, Max. You'll never amount to anything anymore.
Well, that's
Ever.
rude. His dad
No,
played
that's
for
He's
us.
not
good.
nice.
Come on.
His dad was good.
Actually, remember the Pizza Hut commercials with Ty Domi when you were younger? Hi, I'm Ty Domi. Eat Pizza Hut pizza. Like that was it. That was it. It was,
Really?
yeah.
My favorite
it-
Ty Domi memory is always when he squirts water at the fan and the fan falls into the penalty box.
Oh, and he goes after him. Oh, jeez. Yeah. All right. So we took Joshua Morrissey. What's a write-up on Josh Morrissey? I think Josh Morrissey is going to complement Jacob Trouba so beautifully in the next
But-
couple years.
Why would you?
Why? Because Joshua Morrissey will not come down. He knows how to hit, but he'd much rather he plays like a Swedish defenseman. In terms of he'll go for the puck instead of using the body. Offensive minded. Jacob Trouba is offensive minded, but he's got a big bomb from the shot, but he's got that snarl. Fun fact
Trouba
about
does,
Jacob
yeah.
Trouba, if you didn't know, at University of Michigan, where he went for the 1 year, they have a thing there where the meanest guy on the team gets stitched on his gloves and equipment. MF stands for mother fornicator. Mother fornicator.
Motherfucker.
Language, sir. I'm not the best at editing. / I'm probably not going to edit this. So. I mean, calm down now. We're on YouTube, so we don't...
Yeah. Well, I think I have 100
Either way-
YouTube videos and
Either
half of them
way,
have swearing.
he is going to be mean. Jacob Trouba is going to be mean. And Josh
Well, he's
Morrissey...
got an edge
his
to him.
nickname, what was his... I don't know. Dan and I were
Mo?
talking about this. What?
Mo.
No, well, obviously, but I mean,
His-
they said he's like poetry on ice when they were describing him, like in the draft. So it's
Mozart?
like Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
It's like Shakespeare painting a beautiful canvas,
Well,
and his canvas.
I think Cam
is-
makes up half these.
Is
I
him
really
going to
do.
be him and Jacob Trouba, Jacob and Josh?
I don't know.
And wait till next
No,
year.
I disagree.
Jacob and Jacob.
I would disagree
I
with
disagree.
you. Bogo and Trouba will be anchoring your defense.
So you're saying Bogo's sticking around?
At this moment in time,
They
yes.
signed him for
They have
7 years.
They have no reason not to.
Okay,
And he didn't play terrible. Everyone thinks that he had a bad season last year, where really he didn't play that bad.
okay. What
Plus-
was his stats last year? What do we have on that? Go.
We'll probably talk about this later, but if they aren't going to give up on Pavlik, they should not give up on anybody they have.
They definitely should not give up on anybody they have, especially with Pavlik, considering that his save percentage numbers were terrible. They were worse than Vesicovsky.
His numbers have gotten worse every year since they came here.
Just the one big thing with Zach Bogosian for sure is the fact that his point total has dropped every year, it seems.
Was he supposed to be an offensive defenseman, or is he supposed to be
It's the fact that he's playing as many minutes as he's getting a game, and he's only putting up he only had 11 points this year.
But I think the knock on him is the injuries.
Well, right now the injuries are just they're killing our entire defensive core. I don't know. There was a stat, I think it was the first year, where our 6-man core that we put in at the beginning of the year played maybe 17 games together.
Now,
and you just can't win when you.
That's like first year to
that's
now.
First. No, that was just first year.
Right?
No, that was just first year.
Because it feels like that's what.
Well, someone's always injured, whether it's Toby, Buff, Bogo, Trouba last year. Well, even when we had
the only guy that never gets hurt is the guy that throws his body around the most, and that's Stewart.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Maybe it's not that he never gets hurt.
Do you have wood in here? Let's just knock on that, just so Stewart doesn't get hurt, because we need him.
Golf frame.
Okay.
Now, before we get more into the Jets, because we're already jumping into everything, what right now, June 27, 2014, what does their roster look like? What's their roster? So that we can paint a picture if you don't listen to Jets and you somehow stumbled across us.
Ladd, Little, Wheeler.
Top line.
Andrew
Ladd. Brian Little.
I would say Kane, Scheifele, Wheeler.
Okay, fine. Okay. Whatever. No, right now we'll just go.
Then you go Kane, Scheifele. And then there's Slater, Thorburn, and...
Thorburns free agent.
Peluso. Thorburns a free agent?
Yeah, he won't be back.
He will not be back then.
Now that is us hoping, or did they say
I just don't think
they
have Peluso for half the price.
Okay, and now anyone else or have we missed? Eric Tangrady's still on.
Oh yes.
Why?
And then we need to sign
someone take him.
Because he was a 7th round.
Because no one wants him. We took
All I'm saying, everyone who argues and says he's going to hit his peak, he played 10 games on a line with James Neal and Evgeny Malkin, 0 points. Argue that.
Oh, and I believe James Wright is still under contract for 1 year.
No,
he's free agent?
Yeah,
it's RFA.
He was the only Jet that didn't score last year. I don't think he's coming back.
Okay, so he's at RFA.
Same with Patrice.
And now, is that all the forwards that we have? So we have to sign a fourth line.
Okay, wait. We have... Centerman, we have Little, Scheifele, Slater, blank spot.
Okay.
Right wing, they have Wheeler, Peluso, Bufflin.
Blank.
Well, if you
left wing, they have Ladd, Kane, Frolik.
Well, Frolik's in RFA. He's in arbitration right now.
I guess...
Yeah. Blank.
I guess you can throw Bufflin on the right wing.
Okay, so we have to sign four
guys, but one of those guys that could fill a spot would be Eric O'Dell. Another guy that could fill a spot would be
St. John's, Ice Caps, AHL. Okay.
Scott Kosmachuk.
Out of...
Okay, who cares where they're out of?
You got to know where these guys are coming from.
It doesn't matter.
You can't just start talking about it.
We know they're in the system.
Well, we do, but some people listen.
So whatever, they should look it up.
No, that's what we're here to supply them with. Okay, let me see what one of the main things I wrote.
I did not do my homework, obviously.
Yeah, one of the main things, our purpose/goal. Jets news, analysis. Well, how are they going to know about the Jets and that they don't know? Here, you go, I'll name the guys. I already know.
Considering that Kosmachuk won't even be on the team, let's not even worry about it.
Whoa. If he makes the team, guys, dance behind us all, Kosmachuk.
All I'm saying, you have Eric O'Dell.
Yeah.
Potentially have Olli Jokinen coming back.
I hope not.
Unless they go and get someone.
Well, if he comes at the right price, why wouldn't you get Olli Jokinen if he's $2 million?
Now, is it time?
What if they can get Paul Stastny?
Yep, and that is boom.
$7 million though for what he brings.
But
I understand what he brings, but you're not paying a guy $7 million unless he's playing top line minutes. And where does he slot in? Do we move Brian Little back to the right wing?
I'm going to say...
Or are you going to hurt Scheifele's progress and move him down the third line?
Why not drop...
Yes, he did find success last year when he was playing with Frolik and Halicchuk, but that was in such a short span.
Why not drop Little... Okay, technically line 3, but if we have 3 strong lines and you just give them even minutes, then what's the big deal?
What is 1, 2, 3, 4 if you just roll lines, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to say...
The LA Kings don't have a first line, second line, third line.
No,
they have
it's
4
all
really good lines.
And let's just say...
But the one thing that the Jets have stayed true is never overpaying for anything, it seems. Well, for assets. Like, they never go out and go at trade deadline and go get a huge name. They never go at free agency and go after a huge name. They overpaid for Jokinen, and I don't think they want to overpay for a center again.
Well,
And the problem is Stastny wants term and money.
the story
And
on
that's tough.
Stastny, he made 6.6 was his average on the last contract.
Yeah.
His agent has told teams he's not dropping.
No.
He wants more, preferably.
And
The Avalanche have offered him a contract in the $5 million range, so he's
He will
probably
not.
not staying.
and
The
because
only way the Jets can get him is if they outbid everyone else.
Yeah, and why?
and being from Winnipeg, we don't have a favorable market in terms of living conditions. In terms of fans, I'm not being biased, but we know we're the loudest. We're
Well, we're the most passionate.
we're the
That's-
most passionate. We're fueled by passion,
Well-
fueled by passion, might I
Fuel-
add.
Yeah,
It
with
looks
2
weird.
Ls.
Yeah, it's
Two
you
Ls.
spell it with 1 L. Come on now. But what you get with Stastny,
Spall passed him?
jeez Louise,
the heck
Paul
is that?
Stastny is okay. Say if we overpay him a little bit, like what? Say if we just say we give him 7. We'll just say 7, and somehow he signs with us. 7 in term. What you get with him is not just a two-way forward who can do penalty kill and put up points. He's already got chemistry with Wheeler. They played it together in the Dell or German league, in the lockout. But it gives you 3 1-2 punches. It gives you Stastny, Wheeler, Scheifs, Kane, Ladd, Little, and then say we sign Frolik. Frolik is on your third line. I'll call it the third line for now, but I won't. It's a Little, Ladd, Frolik. That is a line that you play against top lines to shut those lines down. So why wouldn't you?
So you're saying that's line 3 technically? Then you'd move Bufflin with Scheifele and get a left winger to play with on that line.
You could put Buff anywhere really. Yeah, that's a good question. Who would play that left wing? Who are our left wings right now? Ladd and Kane.
Kane.
Oh,
But I would
But Tangradi fits in there somewhere.
Kane, Stastny, Wheeler. If that's a top line, that's
or even
that's 3 guys that could score 30 goals.
Well,
Kane,
Kane.
Stastny, Wheeler.
Wow, Kane.
Okay,
Sure,
so
but-
according to Cap Geek right now, the Jets have $50 million tied up in contracts. They go after Stastny. Let's say hypothetically they give him $7 million. So
Who's
that
our
gets
top guy right now?
our top paid guy.
Yes.
Toby, isn't it?
I believe it's Toby at 5.75.
No, isn't it Kane? Because his new contract kicked in.
5.75.
Is he making 6 yet?
Kane is making 5.25 throughout his entire contract.
Yeah.
It's with maybe that's his cap hit. It's 5.25.
Okay, no, we're only talking cap it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So right now it's Toby, as Dan said?
Yeah,
Toby
at 5.75.
Toby, Wheeler, Kane, Bufflin.
Toby, Wheeler, Kane, Bufflin.
Yeah, I think that's top 4.
So,
And then
so you were
Bogo.
saying if we sign Stastny, hypothetically.
If we sign, then we'd have $57 million.
And
So we'd have
they
$12 million extra
That's-
to sign Frolik for. That he wants $4 million.
Does he?
I wouldn't give him that much.
4 3
I
4
would
million.
say 3, and I would give him 3.75 and 3. It's
3.
the term that. Well, they're in arbitration right now for term. I
It's
think they've
term.
agreed
They
on
have
the
the
money.
number. They have the number.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, they have the number.
They have
it's
the number.
The length.
It's the length. that
I
they
think
have.
the Jets want 2 to 3 years, and he wants 4.
4.
Like he seems solid on 4.
The
and
one
they
thing I
want
don't
2 to
like
3.
about the Jets, I'm sorry to go off topic. We're always off topic, but the
there a
Jets have
topic?
gone to the Jets have gone to arbitration with every one of the guys that they wanted to resign
They
Yeah.
went to arbitration with the 3 big guys last year, but they got them done really fast.
right away.
Yeah, that's what
okay,
they wanted.
so back to Frolik.
Okay.
Say we get
So-
him. That
So
gives us-
let's say we get him at 3.75. We have essentially $8 million to play with to get Eric O'Dell, sign a backup goalie, because Hutchinson's an RFA and Montoya is
Hutchinson's an RFA.
yes,
But they'll.
and he's a UFA, and Montoya's
Okay.
a UFA.
All right.
Hutchinson will be back.
Then you have Patrice Cormier, who's an RFA. I don't think he's coming
No,
back.
I think they'll let him
They-
walk.
Or sign him to a one-way, maybe.
Carl
like
Klingberg?
one-way AHL. Two-way, I guess, sorry.
Carl Klingberg is also an RFA. Do we bring him in, or
I
is
think,
he just
I think he's
not?
had his shot.
Okay.
How
And
about
then
Telegan?
Ivan Telegan's still on his
Or
entry
Telegan,
contract.
I don't know.
He has one more year on his entry level.
But he has the same agent as Burmistrov. We
Which
know how
is
that
funny.
went.
Which is funny because with new coach, maybe Brunistrov comes back, and that's what a lot of people are discussing. Is maybe he does come back.
Well, as today, like, draft day ramps up because right around the corner, July 1st, free agent frenzy, as you guys were telling me, because we're all in a text group together, is that people were calling about Burmy? Was that you guys telling me that, or was that people I was talking to earlier? I heard that, I read it somewhere.
I've heard, and it's that teams are interested in Burmistrov,
Okay.
but they're not going to overpay. That's the problem. So
I don't think
the
he's
way
worth
to use
that much right now.
the other thing with Burmy is if you could use him as a piece in a trade,
An
let's say
add-on.
a la Kane, or an add-on to Kane or an add-on to Buff, you might be able to get a higher price that way because people understand the upside of Burmy. Because let's be honest, he almost made it to the Russian Olympic team.
Yes, but
Yeah, but he scored 10 goals a year in the NHL.
on the third line.
On the third line and fourth line. He was playing 6 minutes a game.
Jokic was on the third line, he scored 18.
Yes, but that... Yes.
Bufflin was on the third line, he scored 20.
Well, he was up and down and on power play too.
19 of his goals were on the power play.
Remember when Burmy was on the top line for like those 3-4 games? He put up like, I think, 8 points in like 3 games.
He was part of the fastest goal.
You guys will probably
Jets
disagree
history.
with me, but I think he's completely overrated. I don't think he'll ever be on the Jets. Just my opinion.
Now,
Yes.
do you think he'll ever be back in the NHL?
Yes.
Okay.
Jets, no. I don't think they
I don't think he'll be back with the Jets either. I think management somehow, I don't want to place blame or onus on them, but I think the way they handled it, apparently Burmy's got an attitude problem and only talked Russian to Antro when he was here, is that like he didn't like the coach at Noel, and Noel, well, we know how that worked out. He got canned. But he didn't make friends while doing that. So
No. Okay, well, let's get off the Jets as we've probably...
Go ahead.
One more Jet thing is apparently they're talking to Tanner Glass.
And last time Tanner Glass was here, the third line was, or that line he was on was called what?
GST.
And who was that?
That was Glass, Slater, Thorburn.
Yeah. So you could potentially, if Thorburn doesn't come back, throw Peluso in there. Same kind of player.
And what would their nickname be?
GPS line.
GPS line? And would they have a certain slogan?
Oh, they would.
And what would that be?
Well, they'll find you.
Oh, you might want to know we have nicknames for these players. We'll say them as we go, but Peluso is the Punisher. So,
yeah.
And then Citizen Kane, obviously. Yeah. Well, anyways, continue. Sorry, Greg.
Okay, so let's move into the draft as that happened today. So Florida had the first overall pick. There was a lot of speculation that it could get traded. There were a few teams in the running. I understand that Winnipeg made a bid for it. Obviously didn't get it.
What was the hypothetical
The rumor
bid?
was Bufflin and the 9th pick.
Just that.
For the first
That was
overall.
never
That was
confirmed.
it.
Now, did we ever find out, say hypothetically, we would have landed that pick?
No,
would we have
I don't
gone for
think...
Ekblad?
I don't...
Or would it-
Again, the rumor was they wanted one of the centers.
They wanted
But at this
Reinhart.
point, it's all speculation. There's no...
Well,
Okay.
no one knows. But apparently we were going to go for Reinhardt. It was the same if Vancouver was going to go for the first overall pick, which no team did, and I guess Florida just didn't get the right bid, so they went for Ekblad. Probably the most... Well, he is, in my opinion, the only, or one of the only, NHL-ready players this draft.
Well, he's 6'4", 216. He's a big boy. So, Hockey News, I'm not saying this stuff, but yeah.
According to Hockey News, he's...
Yeah.
Well,
Hockey News is never wrong. Ever.
Well,
Fourth
the great
period,
thing about...
Fourth period, that's still different.
Hey, we're not making enemies just yet. We're coming for you, fourth period. But, okay.
What if we were the fifth line, though?
Ooh. I hope Columbus realizes if you're in the fifth line, you're in... Who's their AHL team? Is it the Fruit Loops team? No, that's Tampa.
Norfolk?
Norfolk Capital.
Are they the Wolfpack?
Oh, Springfield.
Springfield.
Is that still a team?
I don't know.
AHL is like, we're out, we're in, we're out. Hey guys, we're here for like an hour, bye. Like they leave again. Except for Moose, because Moose
of the two, which averages more fans?
Probably Columbus.
Yeah, they got
you guys don't sound very confident in that.
They got
5,000 a game?
Hey, you know what? I don't want to...
Hey, they made the playoffs this
They
year.
were
Those people
entertaining.
showed up for those playoff games.
Yeah, they were the fifth line.
And they didn't leave while they were winning.
Like Pittsburgh.
Unbelievable.
Okay. So, Florida... Let's just go right around back to...
Sorry,
Ekblad
let's do
getting
this. The stuff. Go.
Yeah, stuff and things. So Ekblad gets picked first overall. Not really a surprise to anyone. They knew if Florida was going to keep it, they were going to go for a defenseman, considering that they have picked Huberdeau, Bukestad, and Barkov in recent drafts, along with Goodbranson, who's another defenseman.
And they thought Eric Branson was going to pan out, but, well... He's good.
He's just a big boy.
He's mean, but he's not that good.
He's a 3-4D. He's not a...
As of yet, but you got to realize the guy's still young.
Of course, yeah.
So, then number 2 is Buffalo picking Reinhardt, which, to Cam's dismay, he had them taking Draisaitl.
Are we going to pick on me?
We're going to pick on you here.
Okay.
Because...
I just want to say, I like saying comparables to guys for people who haven't seen this. Ekblad's comparable is Keith Seabrook. Sam Reinhart is Henrik
Who the
Zetterberg.
heck is Keith Seabrook?
Oh, my Lanta. I'm thinking about the Manitoba Moose.
Brent Seabrook.
Brent Seabrook. Remember Keith, though? Number 22? Woo! I love 22, guys.
Seabrook.
That's what I remember. Wow. Yeah.
Maxim Fortunas.
Sam Reinhardt's comparable is Henrik Zetterberg. Not a bad piece to that team because they already have Gergensons, Grigorenko, Nikita Zadorov.
We'll go out on a limb and say that.
Coho, let's get at him.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hodgson.
Who's that other guy they took? That defenseman. Rasmus
Myers?
Ristolainen.
Ristolainen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So they picked Sam Reinhart, which is a guy that's not going to be NHL ready for at least one more year, maybe two.
Love the word
Which-
NHL ready. Come draft, by the way. A lot
What?
of people are like, who can come in now as an 18-year-old and impact the league? Besides Ovi and Crosby, I don't think anyone's come and actually like blown people away. They've held
True.
in there.
Yeah.
McKinnon did awesome.
McKinnon did well, but I think the new thing is bringing guys into the league at 21 or 2021 and just letting them grow first in junior, then letting them grow into the AHL,
Yeah.
and just getting used to it.
And
Because in
Go on.
junior, if you're 18 years old, you're already on the top, probably mid percentile of the people playing it, because there's half of them are younger than you, half of them are older than
Yeah.
you. And
And-
if you're in the NHL, you're in that bottom percentile of people age-wise.
yeah, and as they said in the draft today, one of the analysts said, the NHL is so different from the NFL in terms of NFL, they're drafted and they're already men. They're already grown. NHL, the scouts have to project and basically the draft is a bet. I'm betting that this player is going to turn out better than
Yeah.
any of the guys that are still available on the board. And
Well-
so they have to guess at 18 what this kid's going to be at 20 to 22. That's unbelievable at this point. But
Oh, exactly.
anyways, go ahead.
So next was Edmonton picking Draisaitl, which is
Leon,
an
just say.
Leon from Germany, the highest German-born player ever picked in the NHL entry
Who
draft.
was the other one?
Marcel Gotch? No.
Olaf Kolzig. I don't know. It's the only
I just
German-
want to say,
He's the only German NHL player that.
this
I can't
guy,
think of any.
Leon Draisaitl, I'm very excited to watch his interviews because he's got okay English, but he kind of has like the mannerisms and the type. He reminds me of Brizgalov, where I think he's going to be weird.
Oh, he's going to be
No
a little
offense,
bit off.
Leon. I don't know
So his
you.
career is going to progressively go down the crapper.
No, he's just going to get
Yeah.
traded to
He's
Philadelphia,
gonna-
and then he's going to tank.
Oh, and then he's going to love making. He's only going to places with parks.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, because
I will only play where
heaven
parks
forbid Winnipeg would have a park. That's too much.
Same for
Yeah.
Tell and Assiniboine, but okay.
Yeah, they're beautiful. So.
Draisaitl, the reason why taking him, big forward, and I guess they needed more forwards on a team that's only picked
They
forwards.
needed a big forward, not a small. Look, they have a lot
Yeah.
of small frame forwards.
Nugent, Hopkins, Jakub.
Eberle. Yak, yeah, as well. And now Draisaitl is comparable as Joe Thornton, which in their division is
Well, that's
obviously
important.
what you want.
But if you look at how the other guys have panned out, it just hasn't worked. So it's about, I think,
I don't know if they panned out, but they haven't let them go. You know.
no, and I think this is the time they got this pick. This has to be the last time for Edmonton. If they're going to do anything in the next little while, before they move anyone, this is their year to finally move out of that bottom three
Yep.
in the draft, which is
Still
pretty
haven't
sad.
drafted a defenseman or a goalie though.
Well, there were no goalies.
Although they have Scrivens, who they think is gonna turn them around. So
Ben Scrivens and Victor Fast.
Well,
yeah, but Fast is already
Fast is 31.
33
They're
years
gonna
old.
ride it out. They have a couple guys in the system, but I forget their name.
Olivier
Laurent-
Roy.
Or did they trade him for Laurent Brossard? Wasn't that a trade in there?
Well,
Oh, right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Who was next in the draft?
Sam Bennett, the guy that cannot do a pull-up, is now going to play with Calgary.
They
Comparable Doug
debunked
Gilmour.
that myth on
Comparable
SportsCenter
Doug
last
Gilmour.
night. He can do pull-ups.
He can.
Yes.
Well, he's better than me.
I think we
'Cause
should
I
one
can't.
day live on the podcast try and do a pull up, not with the
I
jump just
can't.
straight up.
I can't.
I
I
think
can tell you I already can't.
Now, if I start crying, can I get a pity one?
No.
I get a pity one.
No.
Yep.
Why would
No.
you cry?
Because what if you're just like you cry and then you channel like in the house of an angel?
No.
And then, like angels lift you.
Doesn't
Okay.
work.
Who Glenn?
Don't think that's
Thanks,
a thing.
guys.
I just,
I'm weak and brittle. I get my little sister to put the water gallon things on the machine. Okay, so yeah.
So Sam Bennett, is he, well, once again, in my opinion, not going to be in the NHL next year.
I don't think so. I think Ekblad and Draisaitl will be there.
I think Ekblad and Draisaitl, well, it's Edmonton, they rush everyone. They don't care if you're actually NHL ready. It's like, no, play. We need you.
Yeah.
We need you.
Go, get
Butts
out of
in
here,
the seats.
please.
Butts in the seats.
Hurry.
Probably won't make much difference.
Craig McTavish, let's be bold. Let's be bold. Let's keep going bold. Haven't made a trade yet. We're almost as rock steady as
They're
Cheveldayoff.
stockpiling. But hey, Pittsburgh stockpiled before they actually started.
At least
going.
he's enthusiastic, though. He's like, yeah,
Let's do
it's our
something.
year. We're going to do something. Or Cheveldayoff's like, hey, going to make a trade? He's like, well, that's a tough question.
Hey,
We're just going to see how things pan
There's
out.
rumors that Evander Kane are going to be traded. What are your thoughts?
That's an unfair question to ask me right now.
You know, it's draft time. There's a lot of
Intangibles.
rumors.
And,
Yeah, there's just things that may pan out.
We're going to
may
do
not.
whatever we can to make the Jets better, which is nothing.
We're just gonna sit on this and not try.
Now, having said that,
but the good thing
we're
is,
going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to have
but
someone.
the other
insanely
thing
good
that
at our
I
team.
do respect about what Cheveldayoff has done is he's not like, oh, I see a problem in 10 games, let's trade that problem and get somebody else. They're not trying to fix problems with just sending people away. And it was the
True.
same thing with holding Claude Noel for so long, was they weren't saying he was the problem. They were letting it pretty much him fight for his own job.
I think
because-
the Jets are a little too proud, and I think they.
Well, it's time to get rid of Pavlik.
You would
There's
think
goalies
so.
out there.
You would think so.
And you got...
They aren't going to buy him out, so I mean,
You have 2 compliance buyouts. This was the great thing of the lockout. The only good thing to come out of that lockout was the fact that you got 2 free compliance buyouts.
And
Well,
that is until
maybe
they
they aren't-
have until July 1st to use.
Yeah.
maybe they aren't confident that they can get another goalie.
But
signed.
using a buyout is allowing the GM to say the GM is saying, "I messed up. This was a bad contract," and Chevy is still on his he's on his first NHL. Nope, that's a lie. He with the Jets. It's his first
Well, it's
time
his
around.
first actual GM
He's the-
job. He
Yes.
was assistants before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was an assistant with Chicago.
Yeah.
But the thing let me word this properly. It's not always saying, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your failures.
Yep.
You cannot judge Pavlik from 2 seasons, and that's what they did, and they paid him too much from 2 seasons of playing way too much as well.
Yeah,
I don't think that is not so much the money.
he
it's
played great year one.
It's the
Pavlik.
length. It's like there's
What's
three
his-
more years left.
At what?
3.9.
4.5 a year.
4.5?
Almost. 4.25.
Is
I
it?
thought it was 3.9.
I think it progressively goes up.
No, back end.
Let's look.
Okay, well, while you're looking, I'll keep saying.
3.9 for 3 more years.
Okay.
Average though, what they actually pay him is a bit more.
Well, that's the cap hit.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
3.9 a year.
It's too much.
It's too much for a guy that's not winning
So
you games.
you're Kevin Cheveldayoff right now, and you say, and
You have 2 compliance
David
buyouts?
Thompson comes up to you and says, "Use those buyouts." I won't get mad. Who are you doing it on? Who are you using them on?
Pavlik.
Okay, and now is it going to be
Oh.
Grant Clixon?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can sign Party and Ellerby, who played, in my opinion, a great 5-6 tandem last year. They didn't hurt you in any way. They didn't cost you games. Bogo did, but they never cost you a
But I
game. They never,
digress.
yeah, but I agree. They never cost you a game, and they always kind of were in the right place at the right time. And I thought that Ellerby pickup was great, but it was a lot like the Clitson pickup, where Clitson played great for the first year,
Yeah.
got that contract, and then just kind of
And
fizzled.
we did it.
Well, he had a great lockout
Yeah.
year. Great. He was
Yeah.
top plus minus. I'm pulling up the stats, but
No, you pull it up if you know. But
he
who-
he
go
also
ahead.
got hurt really early this year, and he was done for the whole year. So.
This is true, but he did play pretty poor.
So
for
right
what
now,
he was
going
here
in,
for.
we talked about the forwards briefly. We don't have much wiggle room on our D. Who are our D right now?
Toby,
Toby Enstrom.
Zach Bogosian,
Okay. Mark Stewart.
Mark Stewart, Jacob Trouba,
Grant Clixon technically.
Grant
still signed.
Clitson technically still signed, and I believe that is it.
We don't have Postma or
Postma's an
Redmond?
RFA.
Redmond.
Yes, Postma still has 1 more year.
One more year. So there.
One more
that's
year.
in
It's
six.
712,000.
Redmond is a UFA, isn't he?
Yeah.
Redmond is UFA. Yes.
UFA. Oh, because he's played his
25 or 26.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
But we have there's guys in the system, but no point really bringing them up in my mind.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there.
Well,
Even
you've
if
got
they keep-
Ellerby
And
is an
Morrissey's
RFA
not-
and Party's a UFA.
Yeah, and then back to junior.
And
Ellerby's
Postman's
not
there.
coming.
Even
Nah,
if
he's
you
not
keep-
ready.
Who? Not Ellerby. You mean Morrissey.
Ellerby.
Morrissey.
Jeez.
Morrissey.
Yeah.
I heard Ellerby. It could have been me.
Well,
No, I said.
there's talk that he's got a shot. They'll probably hold off on him because they don't need him. So
And
They
don't
never
always-
rush. They want to be that team that doesn't rush players into the system, and
Well,
I like
because-
that. And
Because it came
He
from
will-
Atlanta, where they had to rush guys to.
He will get the first whatever. How 10 games is it? 8
I think
games.
it's 8. Yeah,
He will get those,
He will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it 9? Okay.
It's-
Eight.
and then I think they'll decide after that.
All right.
Which they normally do. And as long as they don't do what they did to Scheifele, and I believe it was the lockout year. I don't know if you guys remember this, but they had Scheifele for like 14 games, but he was a healthy scratch for 7 of them.
Well, because
He
if they
just-
played him all of them, he would have burned.
No,
a year.
I understand that, but they just seem to prolong his stay instead of sending him down.
That's also in the Noel era now. When Paul Maurice, he's been a coach for actually or much longer, but you know.
Well, he's coached 1,200 games.
There you go. So and as we saw at the end of last year, near the end of the year last year, Maurice held a practice that he said was going to be like training camp, and the players the media were like, "Oh, this practice is brutal," but the players loved it. They said, "This is great. We need direction."
He also said that they weren't in very good shape. So I don't know how strict the previous.
Maybe he can whip him into shape.
Oh, he will. He will.
So number 5.
Yeah, we'll go back to this. Go ahead.
Now we'll come back from the Jets tangent.
Sorry, guys.
Back
We'll
into
clear back to the Jets
I'll have to
again.
do trades.
Yeah, we got time.
New York Islanders pick Michael Del Cole as their 5th overall pick. Who is he comparable to?
Patrick Marleau is probably going to ride shotgun with John Tavares for a very long time.
Is he a left winger?
He is a left
So
winger.
he's going to fill in that Matt Molson spot.
I don't know if right away, but eventually, yes. Okay.
Is he ready this year or no?
Gal Cole? No. This I'm not really an expert or anything, but I would say if we're
6'2", 182. He's got the height, which is good.
There's always that odd guy who surprises, like Jeff Skinner.
Like Jeff Skinner did that.
So you never
Or
know. But
Valley Nichushkin.
Yep, but this draft didn't seem very all the analysts and people are saying this draft doesn't really seem like it's going to be one to do that. Allow players to just
come in and play.
Yeah, it seems like they each need at least a year or two. Hopefully we got to see World Juniors. That's where it's always fun too. Go ahead.
Vancouver, who was very active on this draft day and almost tried to acquire the first pick from Florida, as
Did
I
they
mentioned
do anything
earlier.
before the draft started?
Well, let's talk about that.
We'll do it after. Let's do it after. Are you going to do it now?
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
They traded Ryan Kessler and their 3rd round pick to Anaheim for Nick Bonino, Lucas Spiza, a 1st round pick, and a 3rd round pick.
And that first round pick was
Anaheim's. That first round pick was Anaheim's 24th.
They then Vancouver then turned the 3rd round pick that they got from Anaheim into Derek Dorset from the Rangers.
Who is
a 4th line
Is he
feisty forward.
UFA, or does he have term left?
Who?
Derek Dorset.
I believe he's still under contract.
I believe so.
Okay, all right.
But
I mean, he's a
I
scrapper.
have heard this before.
Go ahead.
And this actually, in my mind, almost falls kind of into this with the Derek Dorset signing, is that Vancouver is trying to follow this blueprint of being a tough team, opposed to being what they were when they were great, which was all skill. And they didn't really have tough guys like Derek Dorset is. But Nick Bonino, no way, is a tough guy. He's a mid-range.
They're drafting guys who are hard to play against as well.
Yeah.
Bo Horvat, Hunter Shinkaruk, though, shies away. But
what about Jake Vernon, which is their actual draft pick this
he's
year?
a big boy. He hits. He's Calgary Hibbon. I don't think... And it fits in because he's from BC somewhere, I believe they were talking about.
So is it the fact that they're trying to become bigger and stronger? Is that because they might have gotten pushed around in the Stanley Cup Finals? Do they not want that? But why are you shying away from what worked to get you to Stanley Cup? I understand the times change, but times are changing away from that tough.
Look at their division they play in. They got to play against Anaheim, Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf, now Ryan Kessler. LA, holy smokes, look at LA. Look at their top 4 centers. It's Kopitar, Carter, Stoll, Richards. Oh, my Lanta. Any one of those guys would be beautiful to have on pretty much any team. And then look at San Jose. They're big boys too with Thornton, Marleau,
But
Pavelski,
Vancouver was able to
Vlasic.
compete with all these teams.
Yeah.
Before. When these teams, LA didn't have all those pieces, but they were still LA. They were still a strong team. And for some reason, when they lost to Boston, it seemed Vancouver lost their identity. And maybe they're going to try to regain it.
They found it.
Well, they haven't found it.
I'm going to ask your guys' opinion if you think it was a good trade, but here's just some stats. just before you answer that.
Because they're stats.
Okay, Nick Bonino had a career year. In 77 games, he had 22 goals, 27 assists, 49 points.
Who did he play with, though?
He was playing with Kessler, or Getzlaff and Perry, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I believe he was
Is he
second line
left or
center.
Was he center?
No, he's second line center, I
Was
believe, and he's playing with Perot.
Okay, well, that
Perot
In the
was,
playoffs, at
Maroon?
least.
that was a career year, 49 points.
Okay.
Lucas Spiza's career year was 2011-12. He had, in 80 games, he scored 5 goals, 19 assists, 24 points. Is that worth Ryan Kessler?
And the pick.
And the first pick, which was 24th overall,
Jared McCann.
Jared McCann, which...
I actually originally had the Jets. I know he slipped, and yeah, obviously I'm no pro or anything. I basically just looked up these guys and tried to educate myself on guesses. I had Jared McCann, Jets taking Jared McCann, because I didn't expect Nikolai Ehlers to be there.
So, they get Jake Vertanen, they get Jared McCann.
Yep.
They get...
Both hard players to play against.
Bonino, Spiza,
Do you like the
Derek Dorset.
Vertanen?
No, are they better now?
Vertanen wasn't part of the trade. I'm just asking.
No,
I'm asking you if I'm not asking
Oh,
you how they
right
did
now,
today.
how
I'm
that
asking you
trade
if
is.
you like the trade.
Yes.
Is it fair?
Yes.
Yes.
Is Bonino a top 6 forward?
Yes.
TSN said no.
In my opinion, yes, he is.
He played that way in the playoffs.
Is he as good as Kessler?
No.
No.
No,
course
but what you're looking...
Is Spiez is
No, but what you're looking at...
is Spiez a top 4 defenseman?
Lucas
No.
Ibiza? Yes. I'd say he's
4 or 5.
I'd
4 or
say
5.
4 or 5, yeah.
But what you're looking at is one part for one. You're looking player for player. You're looking Bonino for Kessler.
I'm just
No,
asking
that's
if
not
the
a thing.
trade. The trade.
The trade as a whole, yes. And what Vancouver did today, they are a better team now than when they entered 12 hours ago.
So, 12 hours ago, Vancouver has Kessler and
The 6th overall pick.
the 6th overall pick.
And
No,
nothing
just
else.
Kessler. Did they lose any asset? A third.
They lost a third
They
to get
swapped
In
Derek Dorset.
2015.
They
swapped
they
thirds.
swapped thirds
Okay,
with Anaheim
so
and they
Ryan
used
Kessler-
Anaheim's third to get
Ryan Kessler and a third are now gone. In come in Nick Bonino, Lucas Sabisa. We won't count Vernon. That was their pick.
Dorset.
Jared McCann, Derek Dorset.
Is that
Better
worth
team.
it?
That is a better team. In my
Immediately?
opinion, that is a better team.
Immediately?
No.
No, not immediately, but this is... You're always building
They're
for the future.
retooling.
Exactly.
Is what happened.
And
Well, now
they're
that
not blowing it up. They're not saying, this is it, we're going to pull a full
Well,
rebuild.
they
They're
also got rid of
changing.
Garrison
Yes, they
for a
did.
7th round pick.
7th round pick,
Yeah.
which is a little shocking.
He scored 20 goals 2 years ago
That was on Florida.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
as a defenseman.
As a defenseman. So that is impressive.
Garrison,
Oh, and they got rid of Garrison for who?
a 7th round pick.
Seventh
Oh,
round pick.
clearing cap.
Clearing
Right.
cap.
Yeah.
Clearing cap.
Now, why would they be clearing cap? You think they're going to
Maybe-
go for a goalie? A certain goalie who they played against in their division.
They are
Jonas
talking.
Miller?
No,
Jonas
they
Miller.
they are talking to Ryan Miller apparently.
Oh,
Ryan Miller.
but to Ryan Miller, is he one now? Because Ryan Miller's at that stage in his career where this contract might be one of your last. Is it? Are you accepting that you might not win a cup and you're going to help a team rebuild, or are you going to like taking a contract to Edmonton where they're building, where you just say, you know what, I'm okay taking a role of teaching and accepting but Ryan Miller, Eddie Lack. He's not there yet. Like
No.
I think I'd rather take Hiller and see if you could get him on a 2 to 3 year contract, but
Yeah,
accept
he
a 1A
wants
1B.
a lot of money.
Hiller does.
He wants $6 to $7 million a year. That's
Well,
He's
you
not
just
a top
cleared
one.
$4 million.
that's
in
what he was
Garrison.
making. He was making six something.
But you
Alright.
just cleared $4 million from getting rid of Garrison.
Of
The
course.
cap's going up. So yeah, and you also cleared the craziest contract ever in the Roberto Luongo.
Yeah.
Yes, you still had to retain some salary.
That
but,
contract was nothing in comparison to the Brad Richards contract.
or the Ilya Brizgalov contract.
Yes.
All right. So what more on the draft, or do we have any more questions about
Well-
Vancouver? To answer Dan's question, I think yes, they are a better team.
I think they won the trade. I think.
I think,
well,
They
I
you know
won
think
what?
a
They
good,
won the
good
trade.
Now,
trade.
here's the
Fair
other thing.
trade.
Where does Kessler fit in on that team? Because
Second line center.
he is not, in my mind, if I'm getting Ryan Kessler and paying him $6 million a year,
5.
he's only 5.
5 for one more.
Yep.
They have one more year left.
Does he have two, one or two? I think
I
it's two.
think. Okay. Well, even if you
One
have
or
two.
two.
Okay, so, but he seems to be better than a second line center.
your top
Yeah,
line
but you're not
center's
gonna
Perry
bump-
and
I know,
Getzlaff.
no, I understand.
Yeah,
that.
but
you're not screwing with that. But the teams he was talking about going to were Chicago or Anaheim. Both teams are established down the middle in the first line. Why is he? I guess he wants to win, but if I'm Ryan Kessler, I want the minutes. I want to perform at my best.
They roll
He's-
lines.
he'll
pretty
get
good.
minutes on the second line.
I'm not saying he won't, but shouldn't he be like when I think Ryan Kessler, I think he was hidden behind Henrik Sedin.
Wasn't he a second line center on Vancouver?
Yeah,
Yes,
hidden
because
behind
he's-
Henrik Sedin,
yeah.
but I feel that he is good enough to be a first line center.
Oh, he's
and
good.
why he wouldn't pursue that and try to be
Because he wants
to win.
I understand
And he
that.
gave him a team. They gave him a list of like essentially 5 teams,
No,
and it's like,
apparently it was 2.
oh,
it was down to
Chicago,
2.
Anaheim.
Chicago,
Chicago.
Anaheim.
Oh well, yeah,
That's
he
it.
wants that.
Other
cup.
teams were asking, and he was.
Okay.
Okay,
So it's a cup.
sorry.
But
Now,
I guess he wants to win, and I guess sometimes you got to make sacrifices for that, and that's his ice time. But I personally don't look at Ryan Kessler and see a second line center.
No, but I don't.
see, I
but I
see
don't
one
see Mike
independent.
Richards as a fourth line center.
Yeah,
and
that's
he
true.
is.
yeah, all
You
right.
got to play your role.
I don't see Jeff Carter as a second line center.
No,
He is.
well, but it depends. They roll lines pretty good.
Also,
So-
and Anaheim will too.
Yeah. All right. So
Number
anyways,
7, Carolina picked Hayden Fleury. Definitely a need for them on defense because they don't really have anyone
none.
of.
Hey, they
Well,
signed
well-
Ron Hainsey to a 3-year deal.
That's true.
Ron Hainsey was
Don't they have
65 then.
Don't they have Cam's favorite player too?
Jordan
Draft
Staal.
pick, Ryan Murphy.
No. Let's not. We're gonna get into this future in the future.
No, we won't talk about Ryan
In
Murphy.
the future.
But now they have Hayden Fleury and Ryan Murphy, 2 young defensemen who are going to develop for them. But once again, this is for the future.
Yeah.
3 to 4 years down the road, they will have those 2.
And now number 8. I'll lead into this for Greg. Number 8 because it's Toronto. This year though is different for Toronto because
They
the
actually
big
had it first pick.
they had a first pick, but also because there's big changes going in Toronto. Apparently, there's only 4 untouchable players on Toronto.
One of them being Bozak somehow.
However, anyways, this season is circled. It was circled, as many people are saying, to retool, rebuild, set an identity. Who did they take in this 8th overall Toronto Maple Leafs?
William, is it William or is it Michael?
It's William.
William
You can call him
Nylander.
Willie, Big Willie style, if you like.
Can I just call him Joffrey? Because he
You
looks
could call,
like
let's call him
Joffrey.
Joffrey. Let's stick it, Joffrey.
Joffrey Nylander,
Yeah.
the son of Michael Nylander. He's a speedy guy. He can score, but they already have a speedy winger who can score in Phil Kessel. So I'm not really sure why they picked
He's a
him.
center winger, but he's small. He's 5'11", 170.
Well, he's also young.
But sticking to the tone of setting the tone of the team going forward.
Well, this just
they want
means-
skill. It's the
I
write-up is
understand they want
dynamic
skill,
point producer.
But what you're doing now is you're saying, okay, in 5 years, Kadri's useless. And you know what? Maybe what this is, and I thought about this earlier.
In 5 years, he's useless.
Kadri's was one of the best plus. He was a plus 30 in the lockout year.
It's
He is one of the best penalty differentials in the league. Means he causes more penalties than takes.
Because he's a shit disturber. No offense
You
to
need
the
a guy.
language, but
You need a guy like that on your team, and that's why I think Kadri should stay.
Okay.
But actually, I just thought of this again because I thought about this earlier today about who they would take and why. The only reason I see Willie Nylander being taken is because 5 years down the road, Bozak's contract's up, so maybe they'll let him slot in where move Kadri up to the first line to play with Kessel and hopefully JVR if they keep him.
you have to
And
keep
then
in mind,
Willie
though,
Nylander.
with how temperamental Toronto market is. In 5 years, JVR, Kessel, Kadri,
Kessel's
Bozak could all be gone.
You're right.
I mean, it's Toronto. You never know.
I like the pick.
Can't complain.
We got to see how it pans out because their last one, Tyler Biggs hasn't really panned out for them.
Yeah.
They have Frederick Gauthier, another centerman that they took, who we'll see if he pans out.
Yeah.
But they did take a good defenseman in Morgan Riley, who has seemed to pan out so far.
Yep.
So,
All right. So now we already
Well,
talked
we
about
already talked
pick number
about-
9, Nikolai Ehlers, comparable to Jonathan Drouin. Dan, straight up, what's your guess on the pick? Like, how do you like it?
Considering
I'm going off.
Considering that I don't
Oh, yeah.
follow prospects much, I don't know. Sounds like
beeping
he
at
sounds like he'll be a good player.
why is there beeping?
It's a timer. It'll go off soon. How long are we going for?
It's
Been an hour and 5 minutes. Just saying.
Yep.
let's go with number 10, which is
Okay,
Anaheim.
well, let's wrap up the draft and then we'll wrap this up. Go ahead. Number 10,
What's
this
his
is-
first name? Brad?
Nick.
Nick?
His
Nick
brother's
Ritchie.
name is Brett.
Okay.
Nick Ritchie. Here, I'll
Ritchie.
wrap it up. Nick Ritchie from the Peterborough Petes, comparable to Rick Nash, who had pick 10.
Who did I have picked
No,
10?
who had pick 10?
That was Anaheim.
Anaheim from Ottawa.
From Ottawa,
For the
from
Bobby
the
Ryan.
Bobby Ryan trade.
Okay.
Then let's just rattle off 11 to 30. You
Okay.
go 11 to 20, and I'll take it
Okay,
home.
Kevin Fiala from... Wait, who had
Who
11?
cares?
Well, I
Oh.
don't know who picked... Like,
I'll
just tell
pick
me...
11.
Nashville.
No.
No.
The team. I just need the team.
I don't know.
Didn't you write it down?
I don't have it written
I
down.
forget. Oh, right. I have the
We
teams
are
here.
just
We're the worst, sir. Sir, can you...
Fiala,
Hey,
right?
the beeping's gone. Got it, Nashville. Pick number 12, Phoenix, Brendan Perlini.
Hey, Arizona.
Arizona, I'm so sorry. Pick number 13, Washington. Who's
Vrana?
Jakub Vrana. Sorry. Number 14, Dallas, Julius Honka.
Okay.
Number 15, Detroit, Dylan Larkin. Number 16, Columbus, Sonny Milano. Number 17, Philadelphia, Travis Sanheim from Elkhorn, Manitoba. Woo, woo, woo. 18, Alex Tuck, and he goes to Minnesota. Number 19, Anthony D'Angelo to Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 20, San Jose took...
Nope, Chicago. They made a trade.
Chicago,
Oh,
remember?
they made a trade, I'm sorry. They drafted Nick Schmaltz, who's going to University of
Okay, who
North
had
Dakota.
21?
21, I will tell you, St. Louis.
They drafted Fabry.
Number 22 is Pittsburgh.
They drafted... Oh, what's his first... Kapanen. What's his first name?
Kasperi.
Kasperi Kapanen.
22, Colorado Avalanche.
23, you mean?
23, I can read numbers and stuff.
Bleaky.
Connor Bleakley.
Bleakley.
Yep.
I had it Bleaky in my
You
notes
can't
here.
read numbers and you can't read letters.
24, as we alluded to earlier, was Jared McCann.
Okay, number 25, Boston.
Pasternak.
David Pasternak.
Yeah.
Okay, number 26, Montreal.
Sherbak.
Nikita Sherbak. Number 27, Chicago.
Oh, geez, I'm going to butch this. Goldobin. Goldobin?
European
Goldman.
player.
Number 27?
Yeah, Goldobin.
Oh, okay.
I have it right here.
All right, number 28.
It's Goldobin. Nikolai Goldobin.
Goldobin
From Sarnia, and it was from the Blackhawks. It was actually San Jose's pick.
Okay.
Then
Number
New York
28.
Islanders picked Josh Hosang from Windsor.
Oh, okay.
And then the LA Kings picked Adrian Kemp from Modo in Sweden. What? Oh!
I hate it, guys!
Oh, he got one right!
My mock...
One
Yeah! My mock draft is horrendous.
Okay, who did you have in New Jersey spot?
New Jersey, David Pasternak.
Oh, sorry, but John Quenville. Not related to Joel.
When I read the
Hey, he
tweet,
plays for the Wheaties.
When I read-
Who did he go to?
New Jersey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that means that the first round, no goalies were drafted.
No
Which
goalies.
is interesting. I guess there are no
Yeah.
real goalie prospects. Like, who was the top goalie prospect?
Oh, mama, I don't even know. I'd have to do some...
if Cam doesn't know, then
Yeah.
it doesn't
Well,
exist.
no, I'm not.
There's got to be one.
I'm
but,
not an expert here. I'll find out.
Oh, really? You're not an expert?
Well, I saw the video, but
Yeah.
Sir,
Doesn't make you an expert?
Saw the video.
But I just find it
sorry.
interesting that a team well, I guess first round you don't know who's draft. Considering some of the best goalies, a.k.a.
Thatcher
John-
Demko, Boston College. Would be
What-
the
what
top
pick?
prospect. He was ranked 28th,
Okay,
according to
So
the
he
hockey
could
news.
go.
So
very
he's
early.
going to go probably second round.
Yeah.
Is there a steal to be had in the second round that wasn't picked in the first that could go in the second? Got to watch out for.
According to myself, no one took Ivan Barbashev because of
Ooh.
Russian fact.
Yes, Russian factor.
So, but
He-
Moncton QMJHL left wing, Moncton Wildcats.
Okay.
I would say him, Roland McCowan, Jack Dougherty.
So who are the Jets going to take in... Oh, they don't have a second round.
pick. Thank
yeah,
you.
Devin Sanaguchi.
And you know what? I think just to keep it Winnipeg Jets terms, we're going to go out on a bad
No,
note.
first, before we do that,
Okay.
there was another trade.
There
was another
Oh,
trade,
yeah.
which made one of our division rivals better. Yeah, just a little better. Gave him a little bit of scoring.
It's the first goal scorer they've had in franchise
Oh, mama. I forgot.
Nashville getting James Neal from Pittsburgh for Nick Spalling and Patrick Hornquist. Now,
He's the new check killer, I'm telling you.
yeah, he probably will be. Unfortunately, James Neal will no longer have Evgeny Malkin on his line, and
Didn't
doesn't
matter. He
'cause
was pretty productive
he
in
was
Dallas.
still good in Dallas before
He was
Jimmy Ben
playing with
got
Brad
I don't know if
Richards.
you
He's
guys
always
are-
had a center to
I don't know if you guys remember, but he played for the Moose for about
2 games.
10 games.
I thought it was 2.
Okay,
never mind.
I don't know.
Now,
He-
he played. He was
He
here.
played for the Moose for a few games, and he was like hands and feet better than everybody
Hands
on the
and
ice.
feet better.
hands and feet better,
Hands
not
and
just
feet.
like
Now, I just want to go back really quick before we wrap this things up. Dan, what's a jet killer? And can you tell me...
A guy who's no.
A guy.
A guy who's a good hockey player, but not amazing. But whenever he plays the Jets, he
excels. And
Chris Versteeg.
But Dan had a theory he was talking about while we were all together watching the draft. What was that? Well, the trades. It always happens after a trade. Chris Versteeg
goes to Florida, rips us a new one.
From
year one.
Chicago. Okay, year one.
This year,
That was from Toronto.
Yeah. From Toronto. Okay, that's year one.
This year,
Versteeg.
This year, Tyler Seguin goes to Dallas.
That was year 3. Who was year 2?
Rips us
there was
one.
no one.
There was no. It was locked.
It was just Chris Versteeg again.
Now, are you?
He's just like, I'm back, bitches.
Are you preemptively guessing James Neal Jekyll? Is that what you said?
Well, it's always a team that's a division rival. So I'm just saying
that just gets better. So yeah, James Neal.
All
officially a part of Nashville.
Well, from all of us here at Last Man In Podcast, do you have a few words to say? Greg, you go ahead. If you have anything to say before I wrap this back.
Well, let's just. Will the Jets make a deal tomorrow? Will they try to trade someone
tomorrow?
Or
between now and the next time we meet, which will be a week's time, hopefully. No. You don't see.
I think they're going to stick with what they've got, and I think they're going to be aggressive in free agency.
Do you think they're happy with the fact they got Ehlers?
Nikolai Ehlers? Yep. I don't think they expected Ehlers to drop, and that is why they took him.
Yep.
I think they had their eyes on Hayden Fleury, Brendan Perlini. I think, but you never know with them. But I mean, I don't think they. I think they had their eyes on Fleury, but then no one took Ehlers. And
you can't just let Ehlers drop. But I remember you said that if Ehlers even dropped to Toronto, that they'd be licking their lips.
I bet they would.
Licking their chops and trying to get him.
Definitely.
But I believe, I'm going to butcher who said it. I'm going to say Darren Dreger, but I'm probably wrong.
Someone said it in the
Someone
hockey
tweeted
universe.
And said that if Nylander and I'm not even going to say his name right. Ehlers? I'm never going to remember that. Nylander and Ehlers, if neither of them were there, they were going to actually trade down because they didn't want to take a guy too high, I guess, and use their eighth pick wrong.
So they obviously wanted Nylander more.
Nylander, I guess so. But I guess it all worked out for them. There were no real shocking picks in this one.
No, it was pretty, par for the par.
The thing with this year, I felt, was there was, you had your top 4. Everyone knew Ekblad, Reinhart, Draisaitl, and Bennett were going to go top 4 no matter what.
But the order was not.
And the order was nobody really knew. And then your picks from 5 to, I guess, 10, everyone knew DeCall was going to go, Vertanen, Fleury, Nylander. Ehlers was going to go. Nobody really knew that order. And then from there, it was just a cluster of players, really. No one knew, you had Jared McCann going 9th, which was definitely a possibility. I'm going to say Tyler Fabry. That's not his name.
Robbie Fabry.
Robbie Fabry was picked 21st, and he could have easily gone mid-teens, 14, 13.
Yep.
So it just seemed that this year there was no, there's just such a cluster from probably pick 11 to pick 30 of just guys.
It was up in the air. So apart from having a top 10 pick, you didn't really have that, this guy could drop and could be a steal. Where Cam Fowler went 10th or 11th that one year just because. It didn't really... Because everyone just had their set on that, this is our guy. Yeah. And you didn't really have that, so...
No one really seemed to be this is who we want. If we don't get him, it's kind of a lost draft.
Yeah.
Which, is good in a sense, but who knows... There's still one more full day of drafting, which could lead to other trades, but knowing the Jets, they'll probably just trade.
Yeah, but we acquired Frolik Navidad last year tomorrow.
No, it was day 1.
Was it day 1?
Day 1 they did the whole draft in one day last year.
Oh, that's right.
Saturday.
Yeah, because of the stupid accelerated season.
And Setaguchi was free agent.
Free agent,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right, well.
Next time we meet, though, will be after July 1st.
So we'll have lots of news. We'll try and keep it a little shorter, I guess.
Prediction of who each person, before we go, one prediction of who will be on the Jets this time next week. That's not on the roster right now.
That's not on the roster.
Free agent. Who are they going to get?
Technically,
one person. One person free agent that's not on their team. Who are they going to get?
Greg.
You start.
No, Dan, you start.
I don't want to start
Dan's thinking because he came up with the question.
He clearly has somebody in there.
I'm going to go on. I'm going to say Stastny. I'm going to say they overpay and he comes here.
That's a tough one.
Well, okay, the only reason I say that is because yesterday, when they talked about it, Pierre LeBrun said 15 teams have inquired. The only 2 he mentioned by name, Chicago, he said they can't afford them. Winnipeg, he said it was very serious.
Okay.
He didn't name drop anyone else, so I'm...
So Stasny could be a Winnipeg
You know
Jet.
Bold
I
prediction.
am going to go the different route and say, I want to say a goalie. I want to say James Reimer. But I'm going to say Anders Lindback. Greg, your move. Go ahead.
Now,
Really?
okay, about the Reimer thing, Reimer would come cheap. We could even do it tomorrow, 3rd round pick. And they would probably give up Reimer because apparently the Leafs are in talks with New Jersey about getting Martin Brodeur. Funny thing about Martin Brodeur, he doesn't want to back up anyone, and he wants term and some money. So he wants to be a starter, wants
How
term
old
and
is
money.
he?
He wants probably a 2 to 3 year contract, I believe. Maybe it is only
He's
1
42.
year. But he wants
Is he?
like 3 to 4 million. And he wants to be that team
Okay,
starter.
so you're... Okay, well, who's your guest, though?
So
James Reimer?
I could see Reimer being a backup. I could see Reimer, Pavlik being a 1-1, kind of like the way
1A,
Bernier and Reimer
Does
were.
Reimer want to come back into that situation?
Why not? Because that's how he emerged in the first place.
That's true. And
And
play,
then-
play the hot hand?
If
Play the
anything,
hot-
Okay, so your guess, Reimer.
Ooh.
Don't like
See,
that
that's
one.
not my guess. I'm saying it's a possibility,
Okay,
but I'm saying that we're going to add somebody that's a depth player.
you can't tiptoe around it. We're not
Troy
going to
Bodie.
Chevy this. Troy
He
Bodie.
played for us the first year, and we didn't keep him.
No, he did not play for us.
He played for us in the preseason, and we didn't keep him.
Well, he's going to come back, and he's going to be successful. I didn't even know.
Oh, or you could say Tanner Glass.
The other person that I could also see is Nikolai Kulemin, because we need a second line. Before you say anything, I've watched him with Toronto. He can play physical. He's had a 30-goal season. He played and he made Mikhail Grabowski look good.
That's impressive.
And we need somebody to play alongside Scheifele and Kane, who's physical and who would get in the corners.
Okay, so you're Kuhlman?
I'm Kulemin.
I'm going to...
And
wanna
he would
change
come.
mine
He would come to
You can't
3.54
change it now. It
million.
was one player.
3.5.
Yeah, I'm
4
changing
mil.
mine. I'm changing mine
No.
very quick. I'm changing it.
You can't.
I'm changing it. Too bad. Nikolai Kuhlman, first off, I just want to say he's best friends with Evgeny Malkin, so they're probably going to sign him in Pittsburgh. And if you had to pick between Winnipeg and Pittsburgh, well, I'm going.
Well, Tanner Glass made that choice. And made
That's
it very
true.
clear.
Obviously, now he's come back. My new pick, total long shot, left wing, third line, Corporal Komarov.
You're gonna say Leo Komarov.
Leo Komarov. Okay, done.
You can do way better than that.
Dan, do you have anything you want to say before we leave? Your
That's-
Twitter, your anything.
No.
All
Guys, give us a follow on Twitter.
Last man in PC.
Also, subscribe to us on YouTube for more things. We will work on making the quality better, and any feedback you give us will always be looked at and taken into consideration.
And we have emails.
Yes.
Or an email.
and email.
Lastmaninpc@gmail.com.
So if you have any
Sorry.
comments, any things you want to sue us for, yeah, just throw it in there,
Hey,
and
no.
we'll read it.
I'm
We
poor.
can't afford this.
I'm poor. You don't want to
We're
see
recording
me.
this on a phone that I can barely afford per month. Please.
Okay.
Please, anything will help.
Final question. Yes or no answer. No explanation. Evander Kane, will he be on the Jets 1 week from today?
Yes.
Cam?
No. Dan?
Yes.
Last man in. You have yourselves a good evening.